What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris Style
And more.
Podcast, episode 174, Takeover Wednesdays. Hope everybody's having a good night, whatever you're doing. You're at work, you're at home. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us tonight to watch tonight's show. If you're listening on the playback, we appreciate you too. Leave a comment in the comment section. We got a lot to discuss, some boxing stuff, football stuff, a little wrestling. Lil Wayne's coming out with a new album. We're gonna give our expectations. Video game Summerfest has come upon us. We're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna talk about some other stuff too. But before we get into that, Maul, how you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? This is boring day, you know what I mean? But a lot of stuff going on. So excited to talk about it, man. Ready to hit these topics, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. It's Wednesday night. We get to let loose a little bit more on the nighttime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
So, well, let's talk about it, man. The Knicks, man, they fired Tom Thibodeau, man. They let Thibs go, man.
Yeah.
The news came Friday?
No, it came
Or
Monday.
Monday. Well, yeah, the Knicks decided to go their separate ways. I know some of the candidates that was talked about. I know Jay White and what's his name? Uma Doke, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that they're not in on the Knicks sweepstakes, but people are speculating. The old Denver coach was named Matt Malone.
Mike Malone. Yeah.
Mike Malone. They're speculating him to be the next head coach of the New York Knicks. But what are your overall thoughts? Was this the right move for the Knicks to do at this point in time? He had a way better success than the Knicks have had with previous coaching regimes. He had get them to the Eastern Conference Finals. Was a great achievement, and possibly they could have built on that with him. I know people criticize Thibs because he's not really good at, I won't say good, but he just doesn't believe in using his bench. He's very old school. He wants to use the starters and give them all the minutes, and very seldomly goes to his bench. So do you think this was a smart move? Do they need to go to a different direction? Should they just give Thibs one more year?
I look, if y'all listen to me on Monday, I kind of stated that I think they should consider going a different route. I was a little surprised that they did it though. I didn't think they would do it, but I was a little surprised that they did it. I think at the end of the day with Coach Thibs no one's underestimating that he's not a good coach, like a really good coach. But at the end of the day with this Knicks team, it gets to the point where you kind of know what you got when it comes to a Thibs team. You know they're going to play hard. You know, most likely defensively they're going to be really tough. Offensively, it's going to be a lot to be left desired because, for instance, it's always a ball stopping situation when it comes to the offense. It's not really a lot of creativity. We saw that with the Chicago Bulls with Derrick Rose. We seen that with Jalen Brunson, and it's nothing against them, but the offense doesn't have any creativity towards it. And it also becomes with Coach Thibs is that it gets to a point where it seems like he's not going to learn from his past mistakes with wearing out his starters or his more used players that he likes to use. Because I know there's been some conversations. I know Chene kind of hinted. I know it wasn't Chene. It might have been Andrea Carter. One of those two ladies, shout out to them. But, they kind of made the statement that, maybe Thibs needs another year with this group because this is the first year he had this group with Mikal Bridges and Karl-Anthony Towns and stuff like that. But, and then maybe he might learn about, maybe preserving them throughout the season, not wearing them down to the point when it gets to the playoff times, they have no energy, they have no legs, which causes turnovers, which causes mistakes, which we kind of saw throughout the whole playoffs with this Knicks team. I just don't think he's ever going to learn from mistakes. He didn't learn from the Bulls. He didn't learn from the Timberwolves. He didn't learn with the Knicks. And these are the same arguments that a lot of people have been making for years with Coach Thibs. You know what I'm saying? And it just gets to a point where he is who he is. And you look, the Knicks started off the year. It's not like they started off strong. It's not like They started off the year 6-6. Then they went on a couple winning streaks, but when it got down to playing like the better teams, I think the top four teams, the two top teams in each conference, I think they were 0-10 until the playoffs. They didn't win against the Cavaliers. They didn't win against the Celtics. They didn't win against the OKC Thunder. They struggled against better teams. So where do you take that? And it's like, okay, they did beat the Celtics, but you got to understand, most of these games in the playoffs, the Knicks started off like dog shit. Like they're down 10, 20 points. Then they got to sit here and they got a lot of resiliency, but imagine where the Knicks could be if they had those hot starts and were able to, continue that momentum going into the second, third, and fourth quarter instead of using all that energy trying to fight back from a 20-point lead. Like doing that consistently, yes, it does show a lot of mental strength and a lot of desire within that. You're willing to fight no matter what no matter how much you're down. But do you know how exhausting that is to continuously come back from 20 points over and over and over again? I think that is another sign of them, and the mistakes they made against the Indiana Pacers. Because I'm sorry, like, look, I know the Indiana Pacers and that offense is really good. I understand that, but y'all cannot sit here and tell me that the Indiana Pacers should have beat the New York Knicks. The Knicks fumbled the bag in game one. They were up by 20 points. If they win that game, which we all assume they were going to with being up 14 with 3 minutes left, what's the mindset of the Indiana Pacers if the Knicks close that game out and they don't folk over that lead? Like, do the Pacers have enough confidence to win game two? What's up with game 3, 4? Like, we could have easily been going back to game 7 in New York. I think the majority of people would have probably had the New York Knicks winning in game 7 in New York City. We saw the dominance that they did have before they went out in game 6. So I think with Thibs is, I think this is the right move. And you also got to look at it as in the Knicks' mind, next year, I know a lot of people said this year might have been their best year. I low-key think next year might be their best year, depending on obviously certain situations that happen, with trades, with Giannis, KD, and all that. But for right now, next year might be their best opportunity to win an NBA championship because the Boston Celtics are going to be dismantled. Do you really trust the Cleveland Cavaliers? Do you really trust them? You know what I mean? You got to ask yourself that. Can Orlando stay healthy? They're a young team, and I think they're very promising with Paolo Banchero and all them. But can Jalen Suggs and all those guys kind of stay? Franz Wagner, can those guys stay healthy? Obviously, you don't know what's up with the situation going. Like, obviously, the Indiana, obviously, they can always get better. But, they were inconsistent in the beginning of the year. It wasn't like they were popping off. The second half was really good, but they've been inconsistent. Name another East team you really going to be really concerned about. Like, the Miami Heat, I don't know. We got to figure out what they can do, but they don't have a lot of assets. You know what I mean? It's just like the East is so weak in a weird place right now. Like, if you believe Coach Thibs, this is the best he can get out of this team, I think it's a really good opportunity to find a coach that could do it. We've seen it with the Warriors with what's my man's name? Mark what's his name? Mark. The coach. He was he got banned. What's his name? Mark
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson. You saw that with Mark Jackson, how he built that up with the Golden State Warriors. And then Steve Kerr comes in, swoops in, and takes him to another level and got them a championship. We've seen this a couple times before. We've seen it with the Lakers and what happened with that situation with Frank Vogel coming in and taking that team and winning an NBA championship. It is possible. We've seen it before. We've seen it with Mazzulla when he took over for Ime Udoka, was able to get them to a championship. It is highly probable that this can happen. And I low-key think the Knicks, they have to have some kind of idea on who they're going to hire. You can't just go from Tom Thibodeau to I'm going to hire Jeff Van Gundy. I saw a name where they're talking about Luke Walton. Get the fuck out of here. Like, no one's hiring Luke Walton. You know what I mean? It has to be a situation where I know Jay Williams kind of brought up Ime Udoka and that possibility. I also saw the name Jason Kidd. I think, though, if you can pry one of those guys, you absolutely do that. If you can get Ime Udoka, I think that's the perfect match made in heaven with that. Do I think it will happen? I don't know. I think it all depends on if Ime Udoka wants to be in New York or he loves what he has in Houston. That's up for debate. I think the Jason Kidd thing can be very interesting, especially the whole situation and what happened with the Luka Doncic situation. I think this could be very telling. I think if Jason Kidd has his ear and maybe can slowly have his attention at the Knicks job, I think that can show a little glancing to where his mindset is with this organization. Because even though this team has a lot of promise, obviously they were gifted the number one pick. We talked about that, a week or two ago. Like it is promising. Like everybody expects Kyrie Irving to be back at least by All-Star break next year. You got Anthony Davis and all that. But again, with this team, can they stay healthy? Can Kyrie stay healthy? Can Klay Thompson stay healthy? Can PJ Washington and all these guys stay healthy? Like these are all really good players when they're healthy. But Anthony Davis, like, come on, bro. I love Anthony Davis. I will always be a fan of Anthony Davis. But can he stay healthy? We haven't seen that in a very long time with him as far as being consistently healthy. So again, it does show promise. You adding Cooper Flag, okay. Like Cooper Flag is still going to be a rookie. How much can he really have an impact? He could. Like, we've seen rookies come in and have impacts, and he's being implemented into a championship, I guess, team that's currently that has championship aspirations. So that would be kind of a new thing for us to see, because we normally don't see talents like this get put in opportunities like that. So I think that would be really interesting to see how much trust Jason Kidd is going to have Cooper Flag going throughout the season, and if he could trust them in big moments and big key situations. So it should be interesting. But I think for the Knicks, I think this is a one of a couple moves that they will make. I think they're going to find ways to upgrade that roster. I wouldn't be surprised if they get in the Giannis conversation if he does decide to be traded. Don't sleep on KD. I think that's an opportunity right there. I think there's situations where they might consider some other players if they become available. This offseason could be very, very unpredictable. So I think this is just one of many moves, but I'm very curious to see what coach ends up becoming the front runner. And I think that would tell a lot if Knicks fans should be excited or they should have a little cause to pause about the whole situation.
Okay. Sure, for sure. All right, man. Lil Wayne has an album coming out tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah.
Now, I saw you post this on X, and I agree with you. There's like no buzz behind this album whatsoever. like, like nothing at all. I know some speculate. I don't know if this has been put out there, but the guest appearances are very diverse, from Nicki Minaj to Bono, Elephant Man. Elephant Man was still out here.
Yeah.
Of course, I suppose he has a Drake verse, and MGK, Miley Cyrus, Young Thug, and his son is going to be on there, Cameron Carter. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from this album. I have little expectations. The single he put out with Manny Fresh, it was okay. It was all right, but outside of that, I don't know what to expect from this album. So, what's your thoughts?
Do you have SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Start looking up them old mixtapes, my boy. It's over. It's over. Like, let's be honest, bro. I could care less about this goddamn album. There is no excitement at all. I'm
like
be honest.
that?
Yeah. I'm be honest with you, bro. I haven't been excited for a Lil Wayne project in a very long time, and then there hasn't been a really great Lil Wayne project in forever. Let's be honest, man. I just like, there's no buzz about this. There's no excitement about it. I haven't heard anything from news media outlets. Nobody on Twitter has been talking about that. There's just no, like, you feel the sense of Clip's excitement. You know what I mean? You feel the sense of like when Drake, Kendrick, whatever, the anticipation of it. There is no anticipation with this Lil Wayne shit. And I think, these last couple of live performances and stuff like that haven't really done him justice. As I said, he hasn't really put out a project that has been memorable in a very long time. He hasn't really had a top hit song in a very, very long time. Look, Lil Wayne is one of the greats of all time as far as like being a rapper. Like, no one's going to sit here and deny it. But look, man, he's peaked, and I just think it's just downhill from here. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're expecting from this album. Like, this album just looks very confusing. I don't know what direction he wants to have. Like, does anybody want to listen to a Lil Wayne Elephant Man track? I don't. like I guess people will be a little bit excited. Well, I guess people will be excited for like Nicki Minaj verse and the Drake verse and stuff like that because it's Nicki Minaj and Drake. You know what I mean? We don't get to hear them. We haven't heard from Drake in a little bit, and we haven't heard anything from Nicki Minaj as far as like on the track since she released her album, which was very very successful. So I don't know about you. Like I'm not gonna go out my way to listen to it. Like if I find time for it, which I'm gonna have a whole bunch of time this weekend. Maybe I'll listen to it through my painful woes of me getting my wisdom teeth pulled out. Hopefully it's not as painful as some of the videos that have been popping up on my screen, but maybe I'll do that, and maybe it can help me get through my Friday. But I'm not gonna go out my way for this Lil Wayne album. That's no disrespect, but that's just the reality of this situation. It's just nothing about this album that screams that I need to go listen to it ASAP, like right at midnight. It's not happening.
No, I agree with you, man. I don't see the appeal. Like I said, I heard that song with him and Manny Fresh. I wasn't really feeling that song. Um, Supposedly the song with Bono is called "These Are the Days," where he's addressing his health struggles. I know he's struggled with the strokes. We kind of attrition that to his, syrup drinking,
Yeah,
tied to that.
praising
But
him too.
yeah, so but hey, man, hopefully he can correct that. And I think he has a voice note from his son on I guess on the track. So we'll see, man. Like you said, you got the Drake verse, you got the Nicki verse. Maybe they can spark some of that magic. And I give Wayne this. Wayne has, he's put out a few verses here and there, so on some features that take you back to old Wayne. You know what I'm saying? To show that he still got it. He still does have it, but I don't know if he has it for a whole album.
That's what I'm saying. A few verses is cool, but a whole album where you got to entertain me for 40 to 45 minutes to an hour, like that's just, them days is over. You know what I'm saying? Them days is gone. You know what I mean? Like he could surprise us. Like this album could be very really good. It could sound really improved from some of the stuff before, but is it really going to stick, especially in the I guess in the mind frame we are with music right now? You know what I mean? I think music is, I think it's heading in a better direction, but I still feel like we have a little bit of ways to go to find a consistency of finding individual sounds, regional sounds, and finding that rhythm back. But I said Lil Wayne, like I hope it's good, because I think it's been quiet for music as far as like the past month. You know what I mean? Like there hasn't really been anything that's minus a couple like Lucy songs like here and there. I was like, obviously you got the Clips track that came out. I'm digging like the new Primo Rice album. I'm really feeling that. Obviously you got some stuff here and there, but nothing to the point where it's just like damn, that shit stick. I think we haven't had anything like that probably since, I want to say maybe GNX, man, low key. Honestly, as far as like a rap album, you know what I mean? Like obviously, like there's some stuff like Griselda has done that I really like, but you know what I mean? Like I think that's more for like me personally, but I'm thinking that's more like on a commercial level, like just more national, where it's like people are like just so this album is it. I would probably have to say it's probably been since probably GNX, low key. You know what I mean? I guess, and then probably the Drake one too. I know me and you have had our mixed emotions about the Drake album. I think there's been a couple more songs that I think I've re-listened to the album that I've surprisingly liked a little bit more. But I think besides that, I think as far as like national attention, those are the last two albums I think that really garnered any kind of like real buzz. I think the next one I think will be the Clips, and you know what I mean? So yeah, man, shout out to Lil Wayne, man. Hopefully this works out for you, bro.
He's also announced a tour,
Oh
the
my god.
Carter 6 tour, where he'll have Tiger, some cat, one I guess is his artist No Cap, and then the Belly Gang Cushington. So
yeah, like I like Tiger, like just come to Vegas and go to the club. Like he's out here at least once or twice a week. Like you don't need to see him
he's
like
not
that.
coming to Vegas though.
Well, because
He starts in New York and then he ends in West Palm Beach, Florida. So
I don't know. I don't know what you're expecting from a Lil Wayne concert. Like I don't know. His life performances just don't really do it for me. And I know it sounds like I'm disrespecting Lil Wayne, but show me the last great Lil Wayne live performance. If y'all have it, please send it to me in my comments. Send it to on chat. Let me know. I don't mind being wrong.
shout out to Lil Wayne, man. Hopefully the album is good, man. Hopefully he has some good music on there, dog.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Summerfest went down. Was it today?
No, so today was State of Play. Summer Game Fest will be on Friday. The Xbox Showcase will be on Sunday, and then I think there's a rumored Nintendo showcase on Monday. So State of Play, they came out. I mean, I got a couple trailers. I ain't gonna play all of them. There were so many games that were announced. This State of Play is the PlayStation one. So they announced Neo 3. If you haven't played Neo is a really good game. Pragmata, it's the big Capcom sci-fi action game that people have been waiting for the last couple years. People were surprised to see that. Trailer did look good from what I saw, a little bit clips of. Silent Hill F, that's the new Silent Hill game. We did get the remaster of the old one. We got the new Silent Hill F. And they surprisingly announced the release date. It's coming out September 25th. I know a lot of people were pretty surprised about that. A lot of people were expecting that we weren't going to get that until 2026. Then they announced a new game called Romeo is a Dead Man. A lot of people seem like, it's been getting like, it's ups and downs, but it's okay. And then they also announced a wireless Fire Stick. But I got a couple trailers. I want to play a couple trailers, man, and get your feels and get your opinions on, man. So you ready, brother?
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. We'll start off with the first trailer. We'll start off with this one. We'll start off with your game right here. Start off with the
whiteout conditions remain in effect as we are back for the second half.
So with Madden, that was a new trailer for Madden, just came out today. So some of the things that came out was, QBs are going to actually have their signature animations. We saw that with your boy Patrick Mahomes. Going to have real life coaching tendencies and game planning. Upgraded weather, which looked really good. They're going to have halftime shows with Scott Hansen and weekly wrap-up shows during franchise mode. Custom broadcast packages for all the primetime games, Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night. They're going to have real NFL team intros, mascots, wear and tear. They're also going to have twist and stunts, custom zones, 1,000 new plays. They're going to have faster player movements, going to be feeling a little bit more like college football. So after you've seen the trailer for Madden, man, what's your thoughts, man? What's your level of excitement for Madden 26?
I mean, it looks good. It looks like they're trying to make some improvements on it. So, my level of excitement has risen. I was going to buy the game anyway, regardless if I was the same game. But it looks like they're trying to improve in there here. I think college football put a little bit more pressure on them to step their game up.
For sure. All right, man, we got a couple more trailers, man. I'm going to play this one. Bring a little nostalgia for us, man. So go ahead and play this one, man, and get your thoughts, my brother.
His parents cut their own rope to save him. He watched them fall, then found his way off that mountain. He was 11 years old.
He then Started a grand tour of every major boarding school in Britain.
Always at the top of his class.
Always at odds with authority. Same thing in the Navy.
His superiors all praise his instincts.
And they're all in need of early retirement. Nobody knows what to do with him, Mom.
No, and I suspect he feels the same way. But what he did in Iceland...
What he did in Iceland was insubordination. It was ill-disciplined, utterly reckless. He only survived thanks to blind luck. Give me one good reason to put him in the program, Mom.
I think you just covered them all, Greenway. It's really quite simple. Bond is a bullet without a target. Let's give him one.
Do you have an appointment?
The name's Bond.
James Bond. He's with me.
And you are? Don't think we've had the pleasure.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves, James.
So you shouldn't have.
We're facing a situation of the utmost delicacy. I need all my pieces on the board.
009 is a master manipulator. Whatever the endgame is, we won't see it coming.
Jet lag. Gets me every time.
She's not your friend, Bond. She's an asset.
With respect, Mom. To hell with that.
Tell me, what do you do, James?
Lately, headhunting. I suppose this is another teachable moment.
All right, man. That's the 007 game that they released the trailer for, man. What are your thoughts on that from what you saw?
No, it looks fire. It looks dope. We haven't had a good 007 game in a while. I think this one looks like it's going to be one of the better third-person games out there. So, no, it looks really good, man. I'm excited for this game. I like what I saw from the trailer.
Yeah, it's definitely giving me a little bit of the Indiana Jones vibes. Obviously, Indiana Jones, the game that came out, I think, last year. I know that was first person, but this one looked good. I was pretty pleasantly surprised. All right, man. 2 more trailers, man. Let me get your thoughts, man, and then we can move on forward.
Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
That guy? No, he's close. Where did he go?
We've lost sight of the enemy. Find him. We're under fire. Enemy position unknown.
Loading like this? It's a revolution.
All right, Commander.
Good, baby. Take this. Here comes another one. You won't get away from me. Time for you to taste some real pain.
What's the matter? I'm over here. Go back to your own world.
See you in hell.
I'll grind you into dust.
What the? Gotcha.
All right, man. How you think Metal Gear Solid's been looking? You know what I mean? Obviously, we've both been highly anticipating this game. How do you think it looks?
No, it looks good. It looks like you could tell they've revamped some stuff. added some stuff to it, and in the trailer it did also say there's more stuff that's going to be in it too. So no, I'm excited for it, you know what I'm saying, to see how the gameplay is on the PlayStation 5, and how the boss levels are, just the game period, because it was different from all the other Metal Gear. It was similar, but it had its own feel to it, because it was a prequel, playing as Big Boss before he became Big Boss, and all that good stuff. So I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite franchises, so I'm super excited about that. And I got one more trailer, man. Get your opinions, man, and then we're good to go.
自由のために戦う。さあ、お手並み拝見と行こう。君のことは親友だと思っているが、やるしかないようだな。ビブラニウムのシールドだけでは私のアーマーには勝てないぞ。よし、本気でやるぞ。つらい。くらえ。おいためよ。耐えてみせろ。任せてちょうだい。パンチ。私の名前の通り、マーベラス。親愛なる隣人スパイダーマンだ。スパイリーセンス。今日もお見事大勝利。俺とやり合うってか。調子が出てきたぜ。俺様の名はスターロード。胸に刻んでおきだ。覚悟しやがれ。シュートベルト締めたかい。イーストラというのスペシャルメニューお願いするぜ。いやベイビー。その目に焼き付け貧弱なる。やれ。援護する。風よ荒れ狂え。たとえ人々に嫌われていても私は世界を守る。さあ耐えられるかしら。正義のためにこれが私のとっておきだ。こっちだよ。全てをやっつぶしてやる。抱かれなさい。せや。またなベイベー。我々のチームワークは絶対に破れない。マーベル、ウォーコン、ファイティングソウルズ。
So far, I'm super excited about this. I know all my fellow fighting game lovers, a lot of people have been clamoring for a new Marvel vs. Capcom, fighting game. We get a Marvel fighting game. Arc Systems, the same people that made Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I'm super excited about this. Hopefully Gambit and all those guys come. Obviously, they do have the X-Men characters and stuff like that. But what's your overall feels about that game?
Looks like Marvel. You remember the ending of Age of Ultron when you saw the what's it called? The Infinity Gauntlet was
yeah.
My man Thanos grabbed everything and said, "Fine, I'll just do it myself." That's what Marvel just told Capcom. I'll do it myself. We don't need you. You know what I'm saying? Forget Ryu, Ken, and all them people. We'll just have a clusterfuck of all kinds of Marvel characters fighting each other. We'll just keep adding them, and this is gonna be the game of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this game is going to do numbers. I know a lot of people are very excited about that. I'm very excited about it. I love playing fighting video games, arcade days, stuff like that. I can't wait. Obviously, it comes out in 2026. And then don't forget Summer Game Fest, the big gaming showcase. That will be on Friday. I know there's been a lot of rumors about certain games, Resident Evil 9, BioShock, a new Sonic game, Virtual Fighter 4, new Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, stuff like that. All that is on the radar. So I'm super excited. Maybe, 2K, NBA 2K lovers out there. I know it's a lot of love and hate about that game. Trust me, I know. I got so many hours on that game. I'm very depressed to let y'all know how many hours I do have on that shit. But, maybe we'll get some stuff about that as well. So, and maybe more information about college football and Madden and stuff like that. So I'm super excited for this weekend. I'm a big video game dude. So I'm excited for all those games, man. Finally got something to look forward to for this year and next.
Yeah, I looked at the trailer for Pragmata. I like that. I like what I saw from
Yeah,
that.
that one's cool.
It looks really good. I like the Bloodstain game too. It gives you that old school 2D game type of thing. It looked pretty good. I wouldn't. I mean, Romeo a Dead Man. That's not the type of game I like. I didn't really feel that.
Silent Hill
Maybe
F look fire.
no, it did. It did look
Silent
creepy
Hill
as
F
hell.
look fire.
Look creepy as hell. Baby steps. I don't know what the hell that game's all about. It looks stupid.
It's just whatever. Oh, what did you think about the Ghost trailer?
I mean, it's really nothing to take from it. It's just her looking over the city. There's fire. I guess they fighting down there, and then you see the wolf, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't get the trailer, but obviously the game will come out this year, so we don't have to wait long for it. So we'll all have it in our hands soon enough. So, you know what? And other video game news, I did see, my man, he's back on Assassin's Creed, man. How's it going? You know what I mean? Like, I know you had like a scar moment for a little bit. How we looking, man? How we looking on that game? Are you back to where you lost your checkpoint at?
No, I'm getting there though, but still. Okay. Until I get there, I'm still mad.
Not for you.
I gotta do all this shit over again.
Be all right, brother. Just make sure you don't get stuck underneath the goddamn house again, man.
No, I'm not. It's a boat or ship or whatever shit is.
For sure. Looking forward to Summer Game Fest. Remember, big showcase is on Friday. Xbox is on Sunday, and I think there's a rumored Nintendo one on Monday. So keep an eye on that.
For sure. All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back.
Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. It's power-packed electrolytes and rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris and Mal to get $5 off your purchase. So don't wait. Again, that promo code is Cris and Mal to get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, fuel your passion.
All right, we are back. Let's talk a little boxing, man. A little boxing news, man. So there were rumors, well, it wasn't rumor. It was said that there was going to be Haney versus Devin Haney versus Teofimo. That was supposed to be in the works. August 16th was supposed to be the date, but negotiations have fell through. Haney has expressed frustration with Teofimo. I think it was supposed to be under Ryder. That's Turkish. He was supposed to put the fight on. It was supposed to be in Saudi Arabia too, but the deal fell through, and it's because of Teofimo. He backed out of the deal. I guess he didn't like what he saw, or for whatever reason, he didn't do it. Devin Haney was frustrated about it. But what's your overall thoughts about that fight falling through? What's your thoughts?
At the end of the day, I guess it sucks, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't really too excited about this fight. I know some people were excited about it. I wasn't. Like, I don't know what either of these gentlemen have shown that they were going to put on an exciting fight anyway. Devin Haney don't put on exciting fights, and Teofimo Lopez, I don't know what's going on with him at this point. He's just pretty much trolling in the boxing arena at this point. So, no, it is what it is. Like, hopefully these two gentlemen find some more worthy opponents that can get the best out of them. If it's not going to be these two, then just keep it pushing. Because at the end of the day, you get tired of Teofimo's antics. You get tired of Devin Haney and, him saying he's the best, but then, he kind of picks and chooses who he wants to fight. And then when he does get in the ring, his performances be very, very underwhelming. So, I don't know what people were expecting from this, but, just keep it moving. I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
I mean, I understand people's problem with Devin Haney and his fighting style, but I will say this: I disagree with the whole pick and choose. I mean, he did fight Lomachenko. We did. I mean, even though we felt like he lost that fight, he did fight Lomachenko when he was at the top. Um, he did fight Ryan Garcia. He lost that fight, but the whole steroid situation. But he lost that fight. But he did fight, and it tends to be certain fighters make him fight because I think Teofimo was going to make him fight. The one thing I will say about that,
He
like,
was. He was.
I think he would because I think the punching power would have made him fight.
Teofimo don't even fight. Teofimo don't do shit. Like, what do you expect these two dudes to do? And then as far as like the picking and choosing, okay, yeah, he picked Lomachenko. He's a bigger fighter than Lomachenko. He assumed he would have an advantage, even though we all know Lomachenko is a nice fighter. Ryan Garcia, he assumed he was the better fighter. But he's not going after the fighters that he knows he's going to have tough competition against. Like, what did Teofimo show anybody in that ring? These last couple fights that he's going to put on a great show.
I mean, I didn't particularly care for his last fight, but a lot of people thought he was put on a master class in his last fight.
Come on, man. Come on. And trust me, and Chris knows I was a big Teofimo Lopez fan. Even through some of the bullshit he was going through, I was still kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. I've always said Teofimo Lopez gets bored with certain situations. Like, he has to feel like he needs to be in fear in the sense that he knows he has competition where you get the best out of him. I don't think Devin Haney's that. I don't think Devin Haney's gonna get the best out of Teofimo. I think Teofimo looks at Devin Haney like he ain't shit. I think a lot of people look at Devin Haney like he ain't shit. Even though I understand the whole situation with Ryan Garcia and the whole steroid situation and how he looked coming off that shit, it kind of helps Devin Haney's case that that was the cause of him having his troubles. Even though, bro, you should be able to see a left hook because Ryan Garcia only got so much in his bag. Like, yeah, he has very quick hands, but he doesn't have great combinations. Like, he don't. Like, he has a one move.
He just lost to Ruffin, so
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I just don't think these two guys, even if they were to get in the ring, I don't think you're going to get the best out of any one of them because I don't think either one respects the other to be able to go all out. Like, I don't think there's enough hate for that shit between them. Like, I don't think Devin Haney's going to go out there and, like, swing for the fences. And then Teofimo Lopez, he going to joke around in the ring half the time. So what are we really going to get? He's going to do bullshit, trying to disrespect Devin Haney in the ring, and it's going to be a bullshit fight.
Personally, I think Devin Haney, because they are fighting at 147 right now. They've moved, both of them have moved up to welterweight. Either one of them's gonna have to fight. I think should fight. Try to get a fight with Boots.
Yeah, that's like I would have more respect for Devin Haney. Like, all right, this fight ain't go through. Go after Boots. Like that to me, that's a big money making fight. If you want to get your buzz back, if you want to be known as one of the greats, this is the fight where you ain't picking. I'm choosing this one. That would number one. That would kill any kind of conversation about Devin Haney picking and choosing. Oh yeah, Devin Haney. No, I want Boots. Give me Boots. He right there. He's sitting right there.
I agree.
Got nobody coming up. I don't think that. No, I know they might be talking about some shit, but I don't think he has anything signed. Yo, set that up. Like,
because they are talking about him fighting Virgil Ortiz at 154,
which is cool. I fuck with that fight. I would totally fuck with that fight. But Haney, throw your name out there. Be like, oh, look, what's up? I want you. I want to prove everybody I'm that dude. And Teofimo ain't that guy. Boots is that guy, bro. That's the dude that he could whoop your ass. But if you step out in that ring and you prove everybody wrong, you know how much more respect, you know how much more stardom, you know how much you will get your reputation back that you lost from Ryan Garcia. That's your moment right there. It's not Teofimo Lopez. It's Boots. He's right there. Go after it.
Yeah. I think either one of them.
Either one of them. Teofimo ain't gonna do that shit though.
I know he's not.
Teofimo ain't gonna do that shit.
I know who Teofimo's gonna fight next.
Who do you think Teofimo gonna fight next?
He's gonna fight Brian Norman next.
Brian Norman?
Brian Norman has a fight coming up. After that fight, he's gonna fight Brian Norman Jr. for that belt.
All right, we'll see what's up. They're running out of excuses though. Both these guys are running out of excuses at this point.
They are. This weekend, this Saturday, we got a WBO lightweight heavyweight championship. Keyshawn Davis will be fighting Edwin D. Los Santos in Norfolk, Virginia. Also on the card is Abdul Mason, up and coming young star. He'll be fighting Jeremiah Nikilata. What are your thoughts on these fights? What's your thoughts?
I'm excited. Like, obviously, I'm definitely excited to see this Keyshawn Davis fight. I think against him and Los Santos, I think that's a tough opponent for him for sure. I think Keyshawn has been putting on a great class as far as like his last couple fights. He's looking really, really amazing. I'm very curious to see how he looks. I think he's going to do a great job. He's definitely one of the up and coming faces in boxing that I think he needs to get promoted a lot more. Mm-hmm. This is going to be on ESPN, I'm assuming, right? This is on ESPN, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Yeah, man. So I enjoy these ESPN fights because these shits is gone, I think, after July. So, I think this is a great showcase for him. So I'm super excited for both fights, but more so I'm definitely excited to see Keyshawn going up against a really, really tough opponent, man. He's going to be a tough out for sure. So if he can get through this fight in fashion like he's been looking like these last couple fights, man, we could be heading for superstardom right before our eyes. So
yeah, for sure. I think if Keyshawn Davis puts on another great show, I think that he definitely is going to put his hat in the race to fight Tank Davis next. Either between him, and it just depends on how Shakur Stevenson looks against Zepeda. If he doesn't have a dominating fight, I can see Keyshawn Davis put to the forefront in him fighting Tank next.
I think it'll be a good. I think if Shakur looks good, I think they should do Shakur Keyshawn, and then the winner of that fight gets the right to fight Tank. I think. I
don't know if they fight each other though, because they homies.
That's true. I totally forgot about that.
And I think they've said they would never fight each other because of that. So
okay. I totally forgot that they were friends. So I totally spaced out about that. But the Tank obviously Tank got his own problems to worry about right now with Roach. Like that ain't no easy fight. That's not a guarantee Tank gonna get through that shit because Roach. That boy dangerous. And then even then, like I think Roach has an opportunity to get another big fight, even win or lose. I think even if let's say Tank wins, what I mean? It depends on how he wins. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a third fight, depending on how this fight goes. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But Tank gotta I believe in Tank. I think Tank can win this fight. I think he will win this fight, but I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat every round because I don't know. That boy Roach has all my respect in the world, bro. He has all my respect in the world.
Well, the thing about Roach was different from all the other fighters was that he took those power punches from
stood
Tank.
Right in there. He
dished it right back. And that's the thing that I think messed Tank. He wasn't expecting that. So I think now he understands that Roach ain't no slouch. Like I can't go in here playing with this dude. I got to put together a good strategy to beat him. So
I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't even think it's gonna be a situation where he gonna start slow because Tank likes to start slow. I think he gonna be like, yo, yeah, he got to, bro. He can't give him no confidence, bro. Like obviously Rose has all the confidence in the world coming off that fight because a lot of people believe he won that fight, and I'm not mad. Like if you really rewatch that fight, you can kind of say Tank lost that shit. So, Tank got to come off right off the rip, man, and be like, nah, I was just fucking around with you that time, my brother. This is the real Tank, and you got to show that shit. I'm excited, bro. I think that fight can do good numbers. I think that fight has a chance to do some good numbers because I think the anticipation and the unknowing of what the outcome could be. Like, you don't know if Tank is going to come out of that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a situation where, kind of like, Roy Jones versus Antonio Tarver. I think a lot of people anticipated like Roy Jones winning that fight. That was just a shock. Or Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. It's nothing like that. This is like, you got a little taste of what his opponent is. And this is a dangerous one. This is a dangerous one. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those where it'll suck to see my boy get the L, but it's a possibility. It's a high probability.
Yeah, also announced on that same card, you have is it Oshaki Foster versus Stephen Fulton. I think that one. That's gonna be a good fight. That's gonna be a really good fight. If you don't know Foster. Foster got robbed like 2 fights ago.
Yeah.
He had clearly beat dude like unanimously, and they gave it to the other dude, but he got his rematch and he ended up beating him. But yeah, this is a good fight. Fulton looked really good in his last fight too.
He did.
He bounced back from the and the what was it, the jean shorts.
Shorts, yeah, little George.
But he looks like he's bounced back from the Inoue situation. It'd be interesting. Maybe he gets a rematch with Inoue maybe later down the line. But yeah, Fulton looked good. I think this is gonna be a really good fight. I'm actually excited for this fight. We'll see how this fight goes.
Let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you two questions. First question: Has Abdullah Mason have they announced his next opponent at all? Do you know when he's supposed to be fighting next?
Yeah, I just said he's fighting on the on this weekend. He's the co-feature on this.
Oh, he's on this card this weekend. Oh, okay,
yeah.
Great. I always look forward to. Yo, if anybody has not watched Abdullah Mason, please watch this cat. This cat is the next thing. And then I obviously want to have a conversation with you that we had earlier about David Benavidez. I think this is a conversation that really needs to be had because we know David Benavidez is one of the superstars in boxing right now. We all can attest to that. Yeah, I think he's one of the more well-known names, I think, especially with the whole Canelo shit situation. Where does he go? Like, we talked about this earlier today. I'm trying to figure out who his next opponent could be. We all assumed it was going to be Bivol off of that Bitter Beef Bivol because it was given to us that he was going to fight the winner of that fight. Bivol drops his belt, gives it to Benavidez. Bivol wants a trilogy with Bitter Beef. Where does Benavidez go from here? You know what I mean? He has to fight somebody sometime this year. Does he go the Morrell fight? Does he do the Morrell rematch? I remember you told me Morrell has a fight coming up here in the next couple months. So obviously that's not going to happen anytime soon. Where does Benavidez go? Like, you know what I mean? I'm very curious to hear your opinion.
Honestly, I don't know. He might have to fight Bennett. He might have to fight Morrell again unless he fights Caleb Smith.
I guess that might be the fight that because he has to fight here soon. You assume he has to fight at least by September.
Because he is a champion.
He is a champ. You assume he's going to fight at least by September, either before the Crawford Canelo fight or after that card. You would assume.
I guess he could fight Caleb Smith. I mean, Caleb Smith 31-2. He just won a fight this year.
Yeah, he did. He did.
So he's got the WBO.
He went on the same card, dude. He went on that same Morrell card, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's got the WBO Interim Championship. So maybe he fights him. Maybe he could fight Yardy. Maybe Anthony Yardy. That's another guy that's really good. Who he can give him a good fight. That's it. I can't think of nobody else.
I just never seen a boxer in this kind of predicament so early in his career, though. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you feel about the whole situation with Bivol dropping his belt and not wanting to fight Benavidez and do the trilogy?
I don't understand it. I think Bivol he's skilled enough to beat Benavidez.
Yeah, I think that would have been I think that's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah, and probably with Vegas. Well, yeah, with Vegas they would have him the favorite because he got the win over Canelo. So and Bitter Beef, so they'd probably have him the favorite, not by much, but they'd have him the favorite. I don't know, man. Like I said, Caleb Smith probably would be the best bet for Benavidez to fight next.
Do you think he eventually is going to have to move back down or move up?
Here's see that moving down stuff. It's worse to move down than it is to move up. Like
we saw it with Roy Jones' career.
And then even with moving up, it's like we've even said him at light heavyweight is different. It's different. Yeah, it's different. Like these dudes don't just go down as easy. You know what I'm saying? Even that Morrell fight, even though there was some spots where Morrell looked like he might have go down, he would just bounce back and give him some. Like he would take some, but then next thing you know, Morrell is giving him some punches. So, and then even in some of these other fights, like Benavidez has shown to be a little bit more vulnerable to some of these hits. So it's not like him at 168. He was a bigger 168. So he would just hit these dudes at 168 and they would go down. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think the only person that really, really didn't go down that stood in there with him was Caleb Plant. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would have to say if he doesn't get the Bivol fight, maybe maybe the what's the name fight falls through. Maybe he fights Arthur Beterbiev himself to make Bivol fight him.
Yeah, maybe because
But
I could swear I remember hearing rumors that Beterbiev was considered retiring.
that's what I heard too. But I don't know. He thought he won that last fight, so which it was close. I could see why he thought that. But I think if he gets neither one of them, I think Caleb Smith will probably be the play.
Yeah, that one's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
It is tough. Also, I want to show love to boxing great Mike McCallum, aka the Body Snatcher. He was the first Jamaican boxing legend who career spanned from 1981 to 1987, renowned for his technical prowess and devastating body punches. Morales achieved numerous accolades that solidified his place in boxing history. He is a Hall of Famer. He won titles across 3 weight divisions. Super welterweight, he held it from 84 to 88. He won the middleweight champion from 89 to 91, and then he won the light heavyweight from 94 to 95. He had some notable fights. Donald Curry, who he beat for the welterweight champion, he knocked him out in the 5th round. He had a 3-fight trilogy. Well, it was really a 2-fight at 1 weight, and then he moved up to cruiserweight and fought James Toney. He lost 2 of them. One of them was the first one was a draw. The other 2 he lost to James Toney, and then he fought Roy Jones. Like when Roy was coming up, he dropped the light heavyweight title to Roy Jones. He was like 40 years old by that time, so that was like some of his last fights. But shout out to Mike McConnell. He passed away, unfortunately, and we want to always show love to the greats out there.
Absolute.
All right, man. Let's do our BetUS surefire picks, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. Who you got? What you got?
So I got a quick little 3. I'm gonna do obviously NBA Finals Game 1 starts tomorrow. OKC versus Indiana. I'm gonna take the under 230 and a half. I think Game 1, there's gonna be nerves. These are young players in their first NBA Finals game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the lower scoring ones. So I'm gonna take the under 230 and a half. I think that's a smart play for tomorrow. I'm gonna take the Panthers plus 1.5 against the Oilers on Friday. Obviously, the Oilers came back and won in overtime 4-3. I think the Panthers go get their lick back. I think this series is screaming 7 games. This is screaming 7 games. I still like the Oilers winning this series, but I think the Panthers get their lick back. Tie 1-1, take it back to Florida. And then obviously we got UFC 316. We got the rematch of Sugar Shane O'Malley versus Davisvili. Davisvili beat Sugar Shane. I'm gonna take Sugar Shane with the upset. I'm gonna go with my boy Sugar Shane O'Malley with the upset money line plus 226 over and get his belt back, man. So those are my picks for this weekend.
For sure, man. I'm gonna take the 9.5 Thunder over the Pacers, man. I think they're gonna be at home, man. They're gonna be feeling it. The crowd gonna be behind them. I think that Oklahoma crowd gonna go crazy. So I'm gonna take the 9.5. I think I'm gonna take the Braves over the Diamondbacks, and I'm gonna take the Yankees over the Guardians. You look at the screen for all my first time users of the site. Click on that QR code right down there, or scan it. It'll take you to the BetUS website. You put your information in, put the promo code JOIN125. You get 125% sign-in bonus plus 10% gambler's insurance because it got other things on the website. That is 3 risk-free bets on your first 3 deposits on $100 up to $5,000. So that means that if you bet $100 on your first 3 bets and you lose, you keep your money. You don't even lose it. So you can go over to BetUS, sign up. You can win some money, or you can keep your money on your first 3 deposits. So go ahead, sign up. Tell them Cris Style Mal sent you. And that does it for our BetUS Surefire picks. And now it's time for Mal's favorite segment, Random News.
Mm-hmm.
It is now time for Maul's Random News.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, random news for the week. My favorite, Chris's favorite, y'all's favorite, man. You know, got a couple topics, man. You know what I mean? Are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am.
All right, man. So, Tom Holland, obviously, he's getting ready for his new Spider-Man. They got a little. Think they're the symbiote suit is gonna come into play for the first time in the Tom Holland Spider-Man series. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's about time they got into this storyline with the symbiote suit?
Of course. Here's my thing, though. I was not too keen on Venom that they got with Tom Hardy.
Oh, I didn't even watch the last one that came out. I know it's like on Netflix or something, but I didn't watch. I heard it's terrible, but
I just don't like this whole. Goes into that Sony Marvel wanted to make everything a comedy, and it was just I didn't like his voice. Like it was just too comedic, and Venom was nothing. He was not a comedian. He was here to rip your head off. So, yeah. I don't want that symbiote. If that's what we doing, scrap it.
Yeah, facts. I'm totally with you. Next up, did you watch the Keke Palmer SZA movie? One of
I did. I thought it was really good.
So it seems like they're gonna get a sequel. The sequel is in the works. They're set to return for another part of this movie. What are your thoughts with that? Do you think this deserves a part 2?
Yeah, I mean, it has a very look. I'm not comparing it to Friday, but it has a Friday feel to it where I could see multiples of these movies. You know, and it's you bring these two characters back. You add to it, make it more silly, whatever. It's a comedy. So
yeah.
I think it's one of those movies that's going to get a couple more sequels. I think it's going to get a couple more movies out of it. And if it's a success for the sequel, they're going to make a third one.
For sure, man. Shout out to those two beautiful, lovely ladies.
Yeah.
Next up, seems like the New Orleans Pelicans aren't giving up on Zion Williamson just yet. Per Joe Dumars, I've had some real honest conversations with him, some real direct, honest conversations. We're going to go forward with Zion. He's going to continue to be the focal point here as we go forward. Do you think the New Orleans Pelicans are making the right decision to continue having Zion Williamson being the face of their organization with everything that's going on off and on the court?
It's just that off the court stuff. Yeah, man, he got chill on these women, man.
Yeah. You gotta get in shape too. On the court shit too. You gotta get in shape and gotta stay healthy too.
I will say last season probably was his best season, wasn't it?
I guess towards the end of the year, he played pretty good, but he still was coming off of an injury that took him out for a couple months. So
if he can build on what he did towards the end, then yeah. But
the talent's there. The talent's there. He has it. Like we see it.
He got to stay healthy, and he got to just
find you a wholesome woman.
He's young. I'm not gonna kill him too much because he's young, and I get it. He's outside, but
stop fucking these OnlyFans chicks, bro. Find you a normal chick. Find you a bartender.
Respectfully, stay away from Orion Mills, man.
Find you a teacher. Teachers are freaks now, anyways. They throwing that shit away. At least they're a teacher. Find you a secretary or something. Do something. Damn. Find you the custodian at the goddamn gym. Like something. Like, bro, what are we doing? All right, next up, multiple Knicks players have been unhappy with the presence of assistant coach Rick Brunson, which is Jalen Brunson's father, per Sam Amico of hoopswire.com. Said per Hoopswire sources, multiple Knicks players have been unhappy with the presence of assistant coach Rick Brunson, the father of star guard Jalen Brunson. What the issue is exactly has not been determined, though sources suggested that Rick has had too big a say in things. What are your thoughts with this? What do you think should be the direction going? I know obviously you got to be very sensitive with it being Jalen Brunson's dad, but if this is the case, how can you see this potentially going further with Rick Brunson?
It can go really bad and cause division within the team if this is true. Like if players are feeling like he's showing favoritism to his son and whatever, whatnot, like that's not a good look. And like I said, it could divide the team. We've seen history of things like this dividing teams and players not wanting to play with each other no more, and you see it on the court, and then next thing you know, somebody get traded. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, they gotta nip this in the bud for sure.
Do you think with Coach Thibs being fired and him being part of his coaching staff, do you think they should consider letting him go and not bringing him back and just clean slate with the whole coaching staff?
Well, I'm pretty for sure the coach that comes in, he's gonna want to have his own staff.
Yeah,
like it is.
You think it affects Jalen? Do you think it affects Jalen at all?
No, it shouldn't.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Next up, man, day 2 of Open Browns OTAs are in the books, and I got some QB stats for you on the 7v7s and 11v11 team drills. Flacco was 4-7, no TDs, no interceptions. Kenny Pickett was 9-15 with 2 TDs. Gabriel was 11-20 with 3 TDs, no interceptions, and our boy Shador was 9-14 with 3 TDs, 1 interceptions. What do these stats say to you going forward with this QB competition?
The Shador Sanders will be starting week 1.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. You think this could get some coaches fired if he performs pretty well?
What? Dog, if Jackson Dart goes out there and looks bad,
yeah,
it's over for you, boy.
Yeah.
It is over.
Yeah. Steelers?
Who else?
Steelers?
I don't know, man. The Roonies might have to. I might call the Roonies and be like, "Hey, man, it was a good run with Tomlin, dog."
Yeah. Saints. Yeah, Saints.
Hey, man, coaches get fired up for 1 year every year, B.
Yeah, honestly, all of them. I think all of them. Saints, Steelers, Giants, Seahawks.
Jeez. At least the Seahawks got, they signed Sam Darnold, but geez.
Still though. I think it's crazy. All right, next up, everybody's getting ready for Breezy Bowl. I think Breezy Bowl starts this weekend. Chris Brown's concert with Bryson Tiller and Summer Walker. They're doing stadium tours, NFL stadium tours. Chris Brown revealed that his tour set list is going to have 50 songs. What is your, obviously, I don't know if you're going to go to the concert. Probably not. But when are we going to start putting Chris Brown in the proper perspective of greatness when it comes to this music stuff? Where would you put him as far as like one of the greats?
I think he's the best in his generation. I'll give him that. I'll definitely say that. Like, I'm never gonna. I've always said the man is talented. I've always said that. And this is just my opinion. I know a lot of people have affinity for Chris Brown, and I'm not saying you're not supposed to. I'm not saying you're wrong for not having to. I just don't have, and maybe because I was a little older when he came out, so I don't have an album that really I connect with. That's my go-to Chris Brown album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a higher affinity for Usher because Usher was my childhood. You know what I'm saying? That was around my teen years and my early adult years. So I have albums that I can connect with Usher. You know what I'm saying? Even R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, say the name. Don't be scared to say the name. Y'all act like y'all saying Voldemort or something. Like, bro, it's okay. It's all right.
He is the name that
you shall not speak his name in front of me. Come on, man. It's all right, dog. It's okay.
But I'm just saying,
Candy Man. Like, you all right?
Maybe outside the door right now. No. Yeah. But I just don't have that. Like, I think the brother is immensely talented. He makes good music. I'll never say he don't make good music. And as far as dancing, he's up there with some of the greats. But it's just, for me, you know what I'm saying? I just don't have an album that I just connect. I know he's got good albums. I just don't have an album where I'm like,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I get the fan. I think he's the best in his generation. I don't think I don't think it's close. And I think if the Rihanna stuff, I think the Rihanna stuff messed him up. And if that never happened, we would be looking at him as this generation's Michael Jackson.
100%. Like he kind of is it though. I think was it something that was ugly that happened between him and Rihanna? Absolutely. I think he's acknowledged his mistakes. I think even Rihanna says she has. I'm not saying. I think Rihanna has even forgiven Chris Brown to an extent. I think she's moved forward with it. But the level of consistency that Chris Brown has shown, he's done sold out stadium tours. Like the thing he did in Africa was amazing. Like overseas, he's killing it. Like this man is on all-time greats. And I have a whole bunch of albums. I put him up there with the Ushers. I put him up there with just the all-time greats. He is up there. And I get it. I understand the whole age thing where it's like you don't have that one album that probably just connected with you so much where it's like, yes, that's my one. But at the end of the day, he's definitely one of the greats. So, all right, next up, keeping in boxing. The future of boxing is pretty amazing. So I want to get your opinion on who you think will be the next Tank, the next Floyd, the next, Benavidez, the next ultimate superstar out of these guys. You got Carmel Moulton, you got Ernesto Mercado, you got Diego Pacheco, you got Bruce Carrington, Abdullah Mason, Xander Zayas, and Emiliano Vargas. Who do you think out of those guys will be the next bona fide superstar?
Right, Mason Abdullah. Probably Mason. Kamal Moulton is nice too. I like him. There's a few of those dudes. Emmanuel, what's his name? Emmanuel Vargas. What's your name, son?
Emiliano Vargas. Yeah.
Yeah, Fernando Vargas' son. He nice.
Xander Zayas he's nice too.
He's nice too. I like Xander. I like Xander too.
Bruce Carrington too. Bruce Carrington.
Bruce Shoo was nice, man. Nice hey. Anyway, stop running, dog.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's running coming. Anyway. It's coming, bro. It's coming, my boy. He's there. He's there. That's a great fight right there. So, I think boxing is in great hands. I think the main thing with boxing, even with the current stars, the stars that are retiring and the up and coming, I think boxing is in a great spot. Even though I know me and you kind of talked about, I think this year's just been a little weird in a sense with just certain things and certain results that happen. They just got to get the media rights thing figured out, whether it's streaming on Netflix or going back to like basic cable like an NBC or Fox or CBS.
HBO Max, my bad. HBO Max, man. Go ahead and get boxing.
Yeah, just get it back, bro. Bring Jim Lampley back. Get Max Kellerman back. Bring the crew back, bro. I think that brings nostalgia. I think nostalgia is one of the things that people love. You know what I mean? And I think with how accessible HBO Max is, I think HBO is probably one of the more own, streaming services next to like a Netflix and Hulu stuff. I think it's up there, maybe not as high as Netflix, but it has a good amount. I think it'll be a good show. Next up, Adam Silver. They kind of talked about next year's All-Star game, and he says it will feature Team USA versus Team World. I think that he said that's going to be the concept that they go with next year, especially with the Winter Olympics happening right after. He also stated that the NBA All-Star game will be in the afternoon, not night, on a Sunday. Make it a little bit more accessible to, not having people staying up late for it. What are your thoughts with some of these moves with the All-Star game? Do you think this could be an improvement heading for the future for that?
It could possibly be one. You know what I'm saying? It can give you that Olympic feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's it could get people hyped up, you know what I'm saying? If you got Team USA versus Team World, it's definitely going to be good competition, and guys are going to probably want to play hard in that game. Hopefully they want to play hard in that game.
Yeah,
I think Team World's going to want to play hard in that game. The USA, y'all going to have to step it up.
Nah, true. You ain't going to have Jason Tatum. He out for the year. Kyrie out for probably the majority of that. So, yeah. Hey, Bron, go out swinging, bro. This might be your last. It's in LA this year, so
Bron, KD,
Giannis gonna be overseas. You got Jokic over there. You got Luka Doncic. You got Shea overseas. It's not looking good for y'all boys. You know what I mean? Our old heads go get ran out the fucking building.
And Edwards, man.
And Edwards saved the day, bro. It's your chance, bro. Put on the cake, bro. Put on the cake, my boy.
Edwards, though. Jalen Brunson.
For real. Maybe Cooper Flag. Great White Hope. You know what I'm saying? Cool.
They definitely want Cooper.
They'll put him. Yeah, he gotta make the
They
All-Star
did.
team, though. He got to make the All-Star team though.
He does.
Got to make the All-Star team. So, but I'm curious to see how they do it though. He didn't say how the format's gonna be, but I'm assuming it's gonna be regular game ball. You know what I mean? But we'll see what's up.
Just get rid of the tournament, dog.
All right, next up, JC Horn, man. He's not really a fan of PFF, man. They did their top 10 cornerback rankings, and he quote on said, "This is what happened when you let nerds who never touched the football field like they know ball, man." With a laughing emoji face. PFF ranked him 25th in the NFL. Quote said that Horn is talented, but has struggled with injuries in the NFL. Despite being the league's second highest paid cornerback, Horn ranks only 23rd in PFF advanced coverage grade over the past 3 seasons and 23rd in standard PFF coverage grade, 79.6 across the past 2. Do you agree with the ranking, or do you agree with Jason Horn that he should be a lot higher on this list? And then here, I'll read some of the names. I'll read you at least the top 10. 1 is Sauce Gardner. 2 is Pat Surtain. 3 is Trent McDuffie. 4 is Jalen Johnson. 5 is Derek Stingley Jr. 6 is DJ Reed. 7 is Marlene Humphrey. 8 is Christian Benford. 9 is Jair Alexander. And 10 is Denzel Ward. That's just the top 10.
I'm not mad at that top 10. But I do agree. Look, I know at times when we look at PFF and we'd be like, yeah, I like that. But a lot of times PFF, because if you listen to how they rank, to how they do their analytics stuff, it's weird. Like they do a lot of like would-be like for quarterbacks, they'll do like would-be interceptions and if he threw they don't take in account of circumstance, of context. Like, man, it's the weather and the offensive line is bad. And, you know what I'm saying?
Ran into me type shit.
Yeah, type thing. So it's just like, that was a bad throw. That was a good throw. And then you'll look at a PFF grade and you'll be like, how the hell is Bo Nix on Patrick Mahomes, dog? Like, what the hell? Like, for a game. Like, you'll see a game and you'll be like, did we watch the same game? Bo Nix just threw like 3 picks.
Right.
So I agree with him with the PFF. I'm not a real big fan of PFF myself. But him being 20, look, the injuries have derailed him, but I don't think he's the 23rd best corner in the league.
Yeah,
he's at least top 15, top 20.
I think JC Horn is higher, but I agree. You know, he has been hurt. You know what I mean? If the numbers say he hasn't performed, then I think you got to put him in his proper place. I don't think he is the 25th best cornerback. I think talent will tell us why he's a lot better. But again, availability is the strongest point, and it's the best. And he has to be available. He got to stay healthy. Yeah. We got a couple more. Andrew Marchand of The Athletic, senior writer, he wrote that ESPN could replace Doris Burke next season. Burke's spot is not guaranteed for next season, according to sources familiar with ESPN's preliminary plans. While Breen, the Basketball Hall of Famer under a long-term deal, is not going anywhere, ESPN will evaluate their entire roster. Obviously, you know, ESPN is making some changes. Obviously, whether it's show-wise or talent-wise, they have been, you know, doing what they got to do, I guess. Some are happy about it, some are not. What are your thoughts with this? Are you surprised that Doris Burke could potentially be replaced?
Man, it's ESPN. Nobody's safe. Yeah. Unless you're Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
And maybe and Michael Wilbon and Tony Corraz.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how much longer.
And Scott Van Pelt. That's it.
Well, yeah, Scott Van Pelt ain't going anywhere. Cornhart's in them. Obviously, you're adding the addition of Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson, and all those guys. They're going to be part of it next year. They're adding new stuff, so some old stuff got to go, and it sucks. I like Doris. You know, I do
too.
I think lately she's been a little bit too like, you know, I got to be trendy with some of the conversations and all that stuff like that. But I like Doris Burke at the end of the day. I think she
knows her stuff.
She knows her stuff. She knows her stuff. All right, next up, man, Kai Cenat, man, he's been doing big things. He did Streamer University, which got a lot of praise. He's been doing great things. He announced that he's creating a Total Drama Island edition for streamers that will be streamed 24/7. What are your thoughts with this new idea that he is talking about? Do you think this could outdo Streamer University?
I mean, I think it'd be right up there with. I mean, the dude he's the top streamer.
Yeah, him and I Show Speed and some other guys. They're killing it right now.
Him, maybe Duke Dennis, DDG, all them dudes. Like they're like
Rosses,
the top.
Aiden Rosses, those guys, XQCs, they're killing it right now.
Yeah, they're the top streamers right now, and they've cornered that market, man. Shout out to those kids, man. I mean, they're grown men, but you know what I mean. Like they've cornered that market, and they've done something that 10 years ago you had told me, hey man, this dude making millions of dollars straight. Man, get that out my face.
Millions. This man's making hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's what I'm saying. Like
hundreds.
Him, iSpeed, like, and a few others, they're just killing it right now, man. And one thing about Kai tonight, man, I would say this about Kai is he's bridged the gap between young and old.
100%.
Like he's been able to get the young crowd and then also tied in with the Kevin Harts and Nicki Minaj coming over, and you know what I'm saying? Like those people are like our age and they come over and they be a part of the stream and do crazy stuff with them and all that stuff and make good content with them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I give Kai Cenat that he has bridged the gap between young and old, white, black, green, whatever color you are, he's done it. So I give all praise, shout outs to Cris Style Mal. I think he's the kid, even though he may not, all his content may not be all for me, and I may not watch all of his stuff because this is for my son, you know what I'm saying? My son loves him.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, dude, I respect him because he built a market to where he bridged the gap between young and old, and he's just doing his thing. So shout out to Cris Style Mal. Shout out to all them dudes that are doing all this streaming stuff and making money.
Yeah, shout out to Show Speed. I think he's killing it, especially, him getting involved with overseas stuff. I think him going on his world tours has been amazing. I think Cris Style Mal should be the precedence on just his involvement in bringing in the age gap together. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's old, young, him uplifting smaller streamers and, getting involved in him giving back to the community. Like, I think these two gentlemen are the right people to be famous. I think they've been doing a great job. I think Kai's been a stand-up dude. You see how much he cares about his people. You see how much he cares about his community. You see how much he cares about being a streamer and how, just even him and, his situation and trying to bring Rakai up. Rakai a little badass nigga. But you see him trying to bring him up underneath his wing and stuff like that. And I think it's cool, like even bringing other cultures like Ray over there. I think he from like China or Vietnam or something like that. Him trying to bring him involved. They got their new dude Toda from Brazil, or I think that's his name. And then especially Show going overseas. Him going. Him ingratiating himself with the football community, soccer community overseas. He's a big time Cristiano Ronaldo fan. And then he's doing stuff with Tom Brady. You got Cris Style Mal. He's doing the shop with LeBron, Wemby, and all those guys. Like those guys are killing it. Shout out to him. Maybe one day we can get one of those guys on, maybe interview him. I think that'd be hella dope. Yo, Kai, Show, if y'all see this, man, we would love to have y'all on. Talk to y'all, man. Just, chop it up with you, man. Shout out to y'all, bro. Next up, 3 Florida men were sentenced for torturing a rival drug trafficker for 18 hours by putting hot sauce in his eyes and anus. What are your thoughts with this, and how long do you think their sentence should be?
Man, that street life is diabolical, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is, man. Look, I mean, as far as they sentences, I mean, they did crimes, man.
If you're the judge and you heard this shit, how much time would you give?
I mean, if you're a judge, you probably didn't heard it all. Yeah, it's probably not even the worst you've heard.
Nah,
so
probably not.
It's another day in the office.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy, man. Next up, man, if you're a Delta Airlines flyer, first class flyer, Delta Airlines will now start serving Shake Shack on select flights. I'm
flying Delta this weekend.
Do you think this should be distributed throughout all?
Bro, please.
Other like airlines. You think McDonald's should get involved? Taco Bell, KFC, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A. Do you think they should all get involved?
They should, but it ain't gonna happen.
Airlines and their food.
It should, but it ain't gonna happen. Not on Spirit.
Spirit might have, Lucy's,
Shout out to Spirit, man. Yeah, Spirit get a bad rap, man. Shout out to Spirit.
I've never flown Spirit, but
I've been on Spirit numerous of times. I was safe. Everything was fine. Ain't no problems on the flight.
I feel you.
Narrative. That is a narrative.
I feel you. All right, next up, I got 2 more. Michael B. Jordan says Denzel Washington told him to stay offline to avoid overexposing himself to audiences. Quote, he said, why would they pay to see you on a weekend if they see you all week for free? Do you think this is a wise advice that Denzel has given to Michael B. Jordan? And do you think more actresses and actors and musicians and anybody in that realm should take that advice and start acting more?
It's kind of I think when you get to a certain status, like when you're coming out, you got to do what you got to do because you got to get yourself out there. Now, you know what I'm saying? If you're new and up and coming, but somebody who Michael B. Jordan, who's putting in the work now, he's probably one of the top, actors out there. Now he can afford to do that. But if you're new, you're gonna kind of do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying, and get yourself out there. So it's a thin line between because you can't oversaturate yourself. I mean, a lot of people think that about Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? There was a time period where Kevin Hart was in every movie. You saw him everywhere, every commercial, everywhere. You can kind of oversaturate yourself to a point where they hate you. And they don't want to see you no more. And sometimes it's okay to go away. I mean, that was our issue with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, and I get it. The masses love him, but it's just something about, let me miss you, dog.
Facts. It's
like you've already got to the top. You can't go no higher.
It's even like that in relationships sometimes. It's like, yo, let me miss you, dog. Like, do you for once. You know what I mean? Like, go out with your homegirls. Do you? Let me miss you. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like that a little bit.
That's why we had a greater appreciation, as far as the hip hop community, we had a greater appreciation for Kendrick and J. Cole because they went away. They put an album out, they do their touring and all they promo stuff on the radio, and then they go away. We won't see them for about 3 or 4 years.
Everybody, and then it'll be like, where they at? And the next thing you know, they pop on music like, damn, all right, we ready for sure. You know what I'm saying?
And the world stops for them because it's like, oh, we got some new Kendrick, got some new Cole. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta go away.
Absolutely, I totally agree. All right, last but not least, your boy Noah Lyles has made the news again. Olympic track star has said that he says he deserves a signature shoe from Adidas since he's a world champion, and that while Anthony Edwards already has his own shoe with no championships. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think Noah Lyles deserves to have his own shoe, or do you think he just needs to go ahead and just give it up?
No, of course I think. I mean, he's a world champion. I think that he's a known track runner for the Team USA. So you definitely want to put some dollars. The problem with him is that he got to stop. You don't got to put down one person to big yourself up, man. You got to learn that. I don't know what's up with your PR people. If you have PR, I don't know what's up with your PR people, but they need to teach you. You ain't got to put down one person from another sport to big yourself up. Just say you deserve a shoe. You ain't got to say, oh, Anthony Edwards ain't got a championship, because the NBA ain't never worked like that. The sports ain't never worked like that. You ain't got to have there's plenty of players in the history of the game where they ain't win no championships, but they got a signature shoe because the popularity of them. They sell jerseys. They can sell stuff. That's why you get a signature shoe, because they feel like they could sell it with your name on it. So Anthony Edwards rings bells, man. It is what it is, but I do think he deserves a shoe.
I don't. Bro, you're not marketable, bro. Like, we'll give you a commercial, but name one track star that had his own shoe. Usain Bolt, Michael Johnson. Did they have a shoe that you wanted to buy and wear every day?
I did like the Michael Johnson gold shoes. I did like that.
Okay, that's one out of so many, bro. Come on, man. Like,
because most of the women were the stars. FloJo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sha'Carri Richardson got more juice than you, bro. Sorry. Yeah. And then, honestly, you ain't helping yourself out because, let's be honest, all these sneakers, sneaker companies, they have budgets. Now, are they going to give you a portion of their budget over Anthony Edwards, over James Harden, over any of those guys? No, you're not marketable like them. They bring in more marketable dollars than you.
And no, unfortunately, they got to give all that budget to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that too, my brother. And it's like, let's be honest. Like Sha'Carri Richardson is more of a face of Black Olympic stars than you are, because some of the comments that you said, you've been very dismissive of NBA players, which is not a good look. You don't even have the support of them. You don't have support a lot of those guys, which you need. I'm like, instead of you trying to belittle Anthony Edwards, you should probably be on his side. He might be able to get you a plug and maybe help you get a fucking goddamn sneaker. You know what I mean? So it says a lot that, okay, yeah, you may have these world USA Olympic championships, but yet my man is over here killing. Like Anthony Edwards is one of the young superstars in the NBA. It is more of a global brand than track and field. I'm sorry, it is. Like track and field, yes, it's an Olympic sport, but we see you guys once every 4 years when you guys are relevant. I get you guys have events every year, every month, whatever the case may be. I don't know what your schedule is, but we start seeing your face once every 4 years. How many marketing dollars can I get from that? How can I sell a shoe when we only see you once every 4 years? And then on top of that, you're not even the most likable superstar in the Olympic realm. It's not even you. You're not Michael Phelps, bro. You're not Simone Biles. That's not you. You're not that guy that you think you are. Sorry.
And unfortunately, sir, you're in an era where the Olympics is not as grand, is not as big as it used to be when we were younger. When we were kids, people used to sit and watch the Olympics, and they cherished that a lot more than they do now. Now, I think they're getting back to that, because I think these past Olympics, I think it was a lot of viewership than it had ever been in a while. But I just think that he's in the air, especially in the track and field. I just think that it's not as prominent on the totem pole when it comes to sports. You know what I'm saying? Like it's football, basketball, probably like golf and tennis, and then, you know what I'm saying, soccer. Well, soccer's up here now, so like it's
but what I'm trying to say is there are superstars in the Olympics. You're just not a superstar. The only reason why your name is relevant is because you said about the whole conversation about the NBA calling it a world championship. Besides that whole conversation, no one would know who the fuck Noah Lyles is. Let's call it spade. You're not that guy, bro. Sha'Carri Richardson, we know her. Simone Biles, we know her. Michael Phelps, we know her. The ladies of the USA soccer team, we know them.
LeBron James, we know. Steph Curry, we know.
I'm not even talking about those guys, but I'm like, we know other superstars. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know other people that are in the Olympics that have made more of an impact than you. Yeah, you're fast, my brother, and congratulations on you winning your gold medal. But don't think you're somebody that you're not. You're not that guy that can sell shoes, bro. You're not that guy. You don't even have the personality for it. So, like, yo, just appreciate what you got, my brother. You're in these commercials. You just don't have a shoe. So you shitting on other athletes ain't gonna help you get to where you want to go. Like, that's all I'm saying.
He gotta stop that.
Yo, just relax, chill.
I'm shitting on different other brothers, man, because they
do it again. Doing it in the next Olympics. Be dominant. That's how Michael Phelps became popping. That's why Simone Biles is a household name. They did it again. They did it so many times consistently where it's like, yo, that's a champion. And Americans love winners. That is a fact. Okay, you won it one time. This is your first Olympics where you were actually a known name, only based off some other bullshit, but people knew you. All right, let's see what you do again next year, in the next Olympics, and then the next Olympics. Like, what you got? What you got? Are you breaking world records? What you doing? Come on.
Yeah.
Then talk.
All right, man. Time to play which AFC quarterback do you trust the most?
Okay.
All right, hold on. Let's get some music going on. All right, sir. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. First quarterback. CJ Stroud.
Or who?
Geno Smith.
Ugh. I'm going with my boy Gino.
What over CJ?
CJ had one good year, and he had to, didn't look good last year. I'm going with Gino.
Well, Raider bias, and so we
A little bit.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith hasn't been a bad quarterback. He really hasn't.
No, he hasn't. I think
he hasn't been. I'm gonna say Geno. I think it's a lot closer than what people think. Only just because of last year and what CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud didn't look good last year. So
Geno Smith or Anthony Richardson?
Oh, Geno Smith.
Geno Smith, Justin Fields.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, Cam Ward.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, Bo Nix.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, Josh Allen.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl.
Joe Burrow, Mason Rudolph.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
Joe Burrow.
You better piss me off at this next one. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes.
Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes.
How long ago?
He beat him.
The last 2 times he lost. Joe Burrow.
All right. Let me be honest. I'm picking Joe Burrow. I'm picking Joe Burrow, but Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. We all know that shit. I'm just doing it to piss him off.
Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, Joe Burrow. It's not even close.
Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
I love Lamar, but you gotta go Joe. In the playoffs.
Joe Burrow, Drake May.
Joe.
Joe Burrow, Shador Sanders.
Joe. I love Shador, but we gotta see it.
And then Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence.
Joe Burrow.
I knew you was gonna pick Joe Burrow.
That's Joe Burrow, man. Come on, man. It's Joe Burrow season. What's up?
Yeah, you're gonna score like 80 points.
Like, let's be honest. It's probably gonna be Patrick Mahomes, but I think Joe Burrow should be number 2. Like, I love Lamar Jackson. I love Josh Allen.
Now that I agree with.
I love Josh Allen, but Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City when, they were playing one of their best football at the time. And he got to a Super Bowl, which they could have won. They could have won that Super Bowl, but
that last pass, what's your name? If Jamar Chase catch that pass, boy, that probably would have been the greatest play.
And then Cooper Kupp had one of the better Super Bowls.
It was in the fourth quarter when Sean McVay. This is the only time I thought Sean McVay. I was pissed off at him. He finally got his head out his ass in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, they just kept force feeding the ball to Cooper Kupp at that point.
I don't know what it is about Super Bowls and Sean McVay, but he coaches his worst games.
Yeah, I think he just be them 2 weeks. I think he just be doing too much. I think he just does too much sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, honestly, it's probably gonna be Patrick Mahomes. But to spice it up, I think Joe Burrow. I think he's right there, especially when it comes to the playoffs. You gotta. He puts fear in a lot of people's hearts. I think even Patrick Mahomes gotta even be like, I gotta be on my end game if I'm gonna beat him for sure.
Oh, of course, no doubt about it. All right, last but not least. I almost forgot about this. Money in the Bank is this Saturday, y'all. And I wanted to give my quick predictions and previews of this. Let me pull this up right now. What am I going to do with this? So these are all the matches for Money in the Bank. It's only 4 matches, so I'm gonna go through these real quick. First match I'll talk about is the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Laura Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. They faced each other at the last pay-per-view. Laura ended up winning. She ended up beating Becky Lynch. I think Becky Lynch ends up winning this match. There's a stipulation on there that if Becky Lynch loses, she can never challenge for the IC championship again. But if she wins, Laura Valkyria has to raise her arm. So I think that she's going to do some sneak shit. She's going to win the match.
Yeah. And
I think Laura Valkyria is going to have to raise her hand, but she might end up beating the shit out of Becky after the match because some sneak shit that happened. So I can see that happening. Then I'll go to the tag team match, John Cena versus John Cena, Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. I don't really care about this match. It is what it is. I just think they was trying to figure out a way to put Cena and Jey Uso on the card. Um, with Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes. This is his return since WrestleMania. Um, I think Cody ends up pinning Logan Paul because I think John Cena, they kind of previewed it last week. Of John Cena and Logan Paul kind of having a little riff before they, started fighting with Cody and Jey Uso. So I think something's gonna happen where John Cena leaves Logan Paul by himself, and then I think Cody Rhodes ends up giving Logan Paul the crossroads and winning the match. So because Jey Uso, I could also see it the other way. I could see Gunther because he has a match on Monday night against Gunther, a rematch for the championship. So I could also see Gunther coming out and possibly costing them the match by doing something to Jey Uso. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But I'm a roll with Cody and Jey winning this match. And then I'm gonna go with the men's Money in the Bank. You got Solo Sikoa, Seth Rollins, El Grande Americano, aka Chad Gable, LA Knight, Penta, and Andrade is in the match. Everybody, the consensus is picking Seth Rollins. I don't think Seth's going to win this match. I think CM Punk's going to cause him to win this match. And I think LA Knight's going to be the Money in the Bank winner. And I think he cashes in next year, probably WrestleMania or something like that. I think he is going to hold on to the briefcase for a while. But because I think that they can market in LA Knight with the Money in the Bank briefcase and push him towards being a world champion next year. So I just think that after what happened on Monday with Seth costing CM Punk to qualify for the Money in the Bank, I think I think CM Punk's going to come out and do something to Seth Rollins, like distract him, get him out of the ring or whatever. And I think LA Knight's going to end up winning this match because I think Solo's going to start doing the program where him and Jacob Fatu have they beef. Andrade, there's too many stop with him. Like they just call him to put on great matches, and then you don't never see him again. And then Penta, he's just too new. I think eventually him and his brother are going to come back together and be Lucha Brothers. So I think El Grande Americano eventually, because he's going to have to do. Chad Gable's got to do double duty because they got Worlds Collide that morning where they, go against the Mexican wrestling federation that they've just bought. So I think that Chad Gable ends up, he probably win that belt from Vikiko, but then I think that somehow something's going to happen to El Grande Americano to where he doesn't win this match. Which brings us to the women. Now, this is probably going to be the most interesting match on the board because I think I would understand at least 3 of these women winning. I don't think Stephanie Van Care is going to win because she just got there. Same thing with Gilia. She just got there on SmackDown. They both were called up from NXT. Same thing with Roxanne. I don't think neither one of them are going to win. Alexa Bliss doesn't have enough steam for her to win the briefcase. It just wouldn't make sense. Which brings me to Rhea and Naomi. Rhea would be too obvious. Like, I just think that would just be like, okay, they're going to give her the briefcase. She's going to cash in on Io Scott. I don't think that happens. I think Naomi wins. And I think she's going to cash in on Tiffany and win the world championship. And that's where it's going to start, really building that feud between her, Bianca Belair, and her and Jade Cargill. Maybe we get a 3-way match between those two at SummerSlam for the belt or something like that. But I do think that Naomi's going to win this match, and I think that's the right move to go. So, and that's my predictions for Money in the Bank.
I'm mad at that.
All right, brother. You got anything else?
Nah, man. Just a quick reminder, guys. We are off all next week. My man's going on a trip. I'm gonna be out of commission. So there will be no show next week. So it'll give us a lot to talk about the following week for sure. Catch up on NBA finals, catch up on everything that happened with boxing, wrestling, recapping everything with Summer Game Fest, stuff like that, and anything else that come out. So just be mindful. We're not going to be here Monday or next Wednesday, but after that, regular schedule program.
Yeah, hopefully he's better by the following Monday.
Yeah, hopefully. I should be all right, though.
All right, good people. Appreciate y'all watching tonight. What is that? If you look at the screen, speaking of Money in the Bank, go scan that QR code, go to the WWE shop, and you can get some of your latest gear, getting you ready for Money in the Bank. You can get you a Seth Rollins shirt, a LA Knight shirt, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, whoever's your flavor, you can go get you a shirt. Just scan the QR code and go to our WWE shop. And if you want to donate to the Cris Style Mal Podcast, you can donate to our Cash App, Cris Mal Podcast. We appreciate anything that you donate to us. Whatever streaming platform that you use to listen to your podcast, the Cris Style Mal Podcast is available, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio. Whatever you use to listen to your podcast, we're available. Also, if you're a first-time watcher on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays, 9-ish Pacific Standard Time, you could jump in the lives. You could talk about these topics with us. You can give us your opinion and how you feel about said topics. Do you agree with my predictions on WWE? Do you agree that Joe Burrows is the most trustworthy quarterback in the AFC? Do you agree with Tom Thibodeau getting fired from the Knicks? Do you have high expectations for Lil Wayne? Yeah, man, just tap in with us. Subscribe to the channel. Also, if you whatever social media platform you use, you can follow us at Cris Style Mal. Whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you do to listen or to do your social media on, you can follow us. We'll follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports, music, movies, and all kinds of various other things. So go ahead and hit us up. Also, if you have critiques, feedback, or if you have a question or topic that you want us to bring up on the show, and we like said question or topic, we will bring it up. We'll shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go hit us up via DM, email, or our mentions, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Mm-hmm. All right, good people. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Ready for some piping hot topics to give y'all. And yeah, man. Appreciate y'all and have a good rest of y'all night. We will see y'all.
All right, yeah.
We out.
Be safe out there.